Just as you send your customers invoices, your suppliers will send you invoices. So here's what you do when you get your first bill. So here's an invoice from what looks like your lawyers, Smith, Rodriguez, and Jones. Not a terribly sophisticated bunch of lawyers because it looks like they've sent you a hand-drawn invoice, but they're good lawyers nonetheless. And so as you look over the invoice, you want to ask yourself before you do anything else a couple of questions. So first of all, is it valid? Do you know who this supplier is? And do you know why they've sent you this particular invoice? And if those are yes, then is the invoice the right amount? Can you refer back to a purchase order or a contract or an agreement? And the second thing that you want to be thinking about is when you want to pay it. And here they're saying net 30 days. So they expect to be paid in 30 days. And so you should be trying to conserve your cash even at this early stage. In fact, especially at this early stage, and you probably don't want to pay this for 30 days. So you need to do now a number of things with the invoice, and one of them is to put it in a place where you can be reminded to pay it in 30 days. And there's a couple of other things you'll need to do as well. So let's take a look at that. So remember when you sent out an invoice and had to record your invoice, you recorded the amount that you sent to your customers in sales and also in owed to you. But when you get an invoice from one of your suppliers, you do something similar but in different categories. You'll need to keep track of this $420 because it's now owed by you, and you'll need to remind yourself to pay this in about 30 days. This $400 professional fees now becomes an expense, $400, and the reason you track it here is that will then reduce your income tax payable at the end of the year. And finally, sales tax. Now, depending on your jurisdiction, sales tax can either be recorded in the expense section, or in some places like Canada, it can be recorded over here and reduces the amount of sales tax that you have to pay the government. This is a really good reason to know an accountant or a bookkeeper, and it's also a really good reason to be using some software which looks after all this for you. And right on cue, here's the QuickBooks Online screen to record your bills. Put in the name of your lawyer, and that way you won't have to type it out next time. QuickBooks Online knows what net 30 means, that it means that you don't want to pay it for another 30 days, and therefore lets you hang on to your cash a little bit longer. It knows that legal and professional fees, this $400, will go to your expenses. It knows what to do with the sales tax, and it knows to keep track of that $420 in the owed by me list, which is also called accounts payable. Click Save and Close, and you're done. Well, now we have a bill from a supplier. I guess we have to pay it. That's coming up next.